Hi there, Sandra here from Createinspain and Siser, Juliet, Beginners to Pro. I've got two card fronts here, panels for card fronts at least, and I've done them in two different ways. It's exactly the same design. This one was drawn with a glue pen, a Sakura Quickie glue pen in my Juliet. I filled the design with a line fill and it put a fair amount of glue down. The spots where it hasn't put that much glue down is because my pen has now finished. So yeah, it was running out. And then I just foiled it. So that was relatively easy to do, but it takes a long time if you want to do a fill. If I didn't do a fill, the line is so fine that it doesn't give you much of a pattern. So yeah, that's one way of doing it. The same design here is done with a glitter vinyl, just a normal glitter PSV, applied after it's been weeded, and I applied it with some of this stuff, which I bought recently. It's a proper transfer tape as opposed to the contact paper that I normally use. And I have to admit, I rather like this stuff because it doesn't curl in the same way that contact paper does. It comes off the backing. It's got an extra piece on there. It comes off the backing and it doesn't curl up in the same way, so that's quite useful. Could possibly even use it to do some stencils as long as you're just doing small designs out of a main piece. So yeah, interesting ways of doing the same design but getting two different looks. Now the next thing I want for this is some wording, because this is just going to be a really, really simple card design. And I have my words cut out here. Now you may, typical, it's just moved off of the position on the mat, because my mat's not that sticky now. You may be wondering what I've cut this from. Now what I did was I had some really cheapy sticky backed vinyl from the Chinese shops, and the adhesive on it isn't wonderful. So if you try and cut it in anything other than just a background, it tends to lift off of the backing paper that it has. So what I've done is I stuck it onto some, again, cheapo cardstock, and then you can actually use it a lot more easily. So I'm going to get another piece of my my transfer tape. I've used this several times before, but it's still sticky. And I'm just going to pop that over there, and I'll rub it down, and hopefully it's going to pick it up, allow me to transfer it from here to put some glue on the back, or indeed foam tape. And in fact, I think I'm going to use some foam tape on here. Quite a nice decorative touch for a simple card front. Okay, so there we have that. I'm going to put this on the green one, I think. Okay. And that's coming off perfectly well. Brilliant. And I can still keep that. Now this one has been done in another cheapo vinyl. So this stuff is really cheap. It's fine normally if you just want to do a whole background with it, if you want to cover something with it, but to cut it out as a design, not quite so easy. I've just about managed it because these letters are very chunky, but it took me far more effort to weed it than a decent vinyl like Siser would. So I've got a piece of transfer tape that I was using before, and I'm going to transfer it using this. Now this is going to create a slightly peculiar effect because this vinyl being so thin, it's going to pick up the texture of the background behind it. At least I'm suspecting it will do. So take that off. And this one, of course, is going straight on the card rather than having a piece of card underneath it to raise it up at all. And it's obviously not got foam underneath it either. So here's the result. We have two cards from exactly the same file but just a slightly different look, and they both look pretty good. I think I tend to prefer this one because it has the extra dimension, but if you were particularly keen on sending a flat card because of the cost, then this would work out just as well. If you've got some cheapy stuff hanging around, you may like to use that technique. So this was definitely the easiest way of cutting it. It also means that you can use up any odd scraps of card that you don't particularly like, because that could be on a patterned card, it could be on a black card, white card, whatever. It makes no difference at all. You're not going to see it at the end of the day. So if you've got scraps of things that you just are not using, that's one way of using them up. So that's it for today. Two very, very simple ideas for a card. I'll put the file down below so you can use it if you wish. Thanks for watching. Take care now.